Hey folks, Gary here. Happy Thursday morning to you. I hope your day is starting off fantastic. What a great day to be alive. Every day we walk with the Lord, of course, is a really good day. It really is. Now, we've been talking about are you washed in the blood of the Lamb, which is a really weird question if you're not a Christian. If you don't understand what the Bible is talking about, that sounds weird. It sounds really, really odd. But basically what that's getting to is the covering of sin. The covering over the sin, or covering sin, or removing sin. This goes all the way back to Genesis chapter 3 with Adam and Eve and the original sin. And of course, we see evidence of sin throughout the world. Every day we see people hurt and harmed and just horrible things that take place. Why? Because of the sin that's in the world. And it's not good. It harms people. It really, really hurts people. And so we want to take care of that. Plus also it creates a barrier between us and our Father in heaven, which is also, that's even worse, having that barrier there. So how do we take care of that? And of course, yesterday we looked at Hebrews chapter 10, verses 1 to 4, about how sacrifices were made that would create a temporary covering for that. But they would have to make that sacrifice every year. And if anything, it was evidence of just how sinful we were and how it was only a temporary thing, that something permanent needed to take place. And what was permanent? Well, Jesus is permanent. On the cross? He is the permanent answer to sin. And so we read that as we continue on with Hebrews 10. So continuing on with Hebrews 10 and looking at verse 5 down, 5 to 10, it says this. That is why when Christ came into the world, he said to God, "You did not want animal sacrifices or sin offerings, but you have given me a body to offer. You are not pleased with burnt offerings or other offerings for sin." Then I said, "Look, I have come to do your will, O God, as it is written about me in the scriptures." So it's God coming to do God's will on our behalf. First Christ said, "You did not want animal sacrifices or sin offerings or burnt offerings or other offerings for sin, nor were you pleased with them, though they are required by the law of Moses." Then he said, "Look, I have come to do your will." He cancels the first covenant in order to put the second covenant into effect. For God's will was for us to be made holy by the sacrifice of the body of Jesus Christ once for all time. The sin that you see all around you, the sin that's taken place from Adam and Eve all the way down, the sin that's in our own lives that keeps us from being in the presence of God, all of this, that price is so high, it's so unbelievable that you could sacrifice every goat and every bull, every cattle, every sheep, whatever, and you still couldn't pay that price because the price was so incredibly high. There's only one thing that could possibly satisfy that price, and that was the Son of God himself. That was God himself as Jesus on the cross. Sacrifice for you and I through the shedding of that blood. Buried in a tomb for 3 days, then risen from the dead and is seated at the right hand of the Father. Now, awesome, really cool stuff. But that price had to be paid for us so that we could have the relationship with him and that forgiveness of sin in our lives. So are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Have you accepted that? Have you said, "Lord, would you forgive me of my sins?" And that's what it's getting to. And here's the thing. You ask God to forgive you, he will. You turn from it and say, "I repent from this. I'm not going to be in that anymore. I'm going to follow you." And God says, that's what it was all about. That you would know who I am and you could have a relationship with me, which is awesome. So that's the message so far. We're going to get into more of it tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.